YouTube, how we doing? Pass the prop back here yet again. It is Super Wild Card Weekend recap, and we're talking a little bit of this Monday Night Football game. We did talk about this game on Wednesday with our guy Ryan Reynolds over there. So obviously, if you guys want a full breakdown, yet again, you can go pop over there, see how we did. Do our if you want to take a look at how we did against what we did this weekend with all these games and some crazy ones. But join as always, Stu. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Doing much better than last week. I mean, you mentioned that Wednesday show. I had like 102 fever during that one, so who knows what I was even saying. But I think it turned out pretty good overall. Good week of betting, and honestly, good week of football. Like, I couldn't be more excited. That last game was a bit of a bummer. I guess it kind of slowed things down. But when you just think of like living up to the expectations, I mean, those games did. Like, it was an awesome week of football. So super pumped for that. Obviously, got one more game to talk about a little bit more. And yeah, we're going to, I guess, dive into the slate a little bit, recap it. And obviously, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Quick recap coming up here shortly. Just letting you guys straggle your way in here. We got 12 of you guys in here in the first minute. We appreciate you jumping over on YouTube and joining us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, drop them in the chat. We appreciate all the support as always, guys. And yeah, let's kind of go into the games here. You just want to talk every game, or you want to just break down the spots that you want to here?
Yeah, I mean, they're quick enough where we might as well be able to go into each one. What was the first one again? What was
Rams.
Okay, Rams. Yeah, Rams fan. And hey, a banger, by the way. Obviously, as someone that went in with low expectations, I mean, I think that continues the records of, I believe, every wild card dog of 10 points or more is covered ever or something like that, which I saw, which is kind of crazy. But shout out to the Panthers. They came out, they played good ball. That was surprising. And I mean, yeah, hats off to them for just making it a competitive game. You know what I mean? And on the Rams side too, I'd have some concerns about that Rams defense for the rest of the playoffs. I mean, in the end of the season as well, they kind of fell off a bit of a cliff there. And now when Bryce Young is having one of his best career games against you, that's probably not a great sign either. So very good game, very competitive. The one thing I want to say is, why do more teams not do that little fake handoff, quick pass thing? Bryce Young fired like 3 of those off. Like, we need more of that. It fooled everybody. It was good stuff too. Just the immediate, like, one read, that's it, firing over the middle, get you 10 yards or so. I was enjoying the play calling there.
Yeah, it's like a tough play though. Like, that's not like an easy throw either. Mm-hmm. It just felt like I think that was like Landman was on that side, who's, not like the fastest linebacker there, which obviously, leads you a little bit more to some more tight end stuff, which obviously Loveland will be playing them this week. So I'm sure he'll be a popular bet for everybody this week. But yeah, dude, I've watched a lot of Panthers. You guys know this. I've bet them as a dog quite a bit. I did them in my Survivor, so I did feel good about that. I got the plus 10.5, which is just, it was a fun feeling to just know you're going to get that at least. But yeah, no, I'm actually really excited for that game now with the Rams and the Bears. It should be a fun game getting Stafford and Devontae back out there with the NFC North stuff. Obviously, their ties there too, but yeah, dude, and they didn't even really use Devontae that much, bro. Like, they were moving the ball that much without really using Devontae. I think he had like 9 targets, but like 4 catches. A couple of them were throwaways. But I think my biggest thing was, like, I didn't think they ran the ball that well. I thought they did a lot more explosive runs. We talked about that on the show. Just getting a little bit more explosive runs in that category. But I think the Rams fans, you got to be happy that was probably one of your worst performances. The turnovers were bad. The special teams were not good. And, fuck, they still won, right? I mean, it's just survive and advance at this point. That's all they're really thinking about. So I think that was – they were kind of lucky that that's the team they got in that spot. Like, you do that pretty much against any of the other teams that were there, I think they lose, especially on the road. So I think they got you should be happy if you're a Rams fan that you played like that. And fuck, man, they ended up getting the job done at least.
No, I definitely agree. And like you said, yeah, the running game was kind of unimpressive. I mean, for the most part. But you know, they like you said, they got it done in ugly fashion. They had a nice little game-winning drive. Stafford had a couple rare kind of misses of guys. Puka had the dropped catch. That was
Touchdown
pretty
almost.
insane to see. Yeah, it was like, wow, like you've seen this guy make every crazy catch in the world and then right off the fingertips. So, you know, it's one of those that it lived up. I was after that game, I was just like, oh damn, I think we're gonna have a good weekend. And hey, I mean, not so much for you, but that next game kind of continued the vibes. I mean, I'll let you get into the Packer game, obviously, first.
Yeah, I made sure I didn't watch it with anybody but my wife, and my wife's kind of in and out of games. She's not like diehard, even though she was as far away from Lambeau as me, probably about 45 minutes. I mean, I was like 20, so like, you know, you grow up there, it's kind of, you know, religion up there. But yeah, I was obviously very happy with the first half. I don't really know what the first 3 drives of the second half were. Like they were selling out to stop the run, and LaFleur just didn't want to throw the ball. We just getting into consistent 3rd and longs. I also want to put this out there. Anybody that's a Packer fan, like calling for LaFleur's job, what the fuck are we doing, bro? Who are we getting that's better than him? Like, that's my thing. Is like, if you're going to tell me you want to go get Harbaugh, that's the dumbest fucking take I've ever heard in my goddamn life. What the fuck is he going to do? And we're going to have to go get a new offensive coordinator too. Like, you need a guy to call plays. Like, LaFleur still is good at that. Obviously, a lot of crazy plays had to happen, man. Like that 4th and whatever it was, throw off the back foot that Adunze caught 25 yards on the field. Like, sometimes shit like that happens. It reminds me of when the Packers played the Eagles, right? I mean, the Packers played the Eagles, and they had that throw down the field, and the Eagles made that, you know, what one? The one off the guy's, not off the guy's helmet, but like, I'm trying to remember the guy's name, that Eagles catch in that game. That's going to bother me now. I'm going to pull it up. I'll pull it up. Don't worry. But yeah, I really don't understand the people hating on LaFleur. I mean, dude, how many crazy things had to happen for that game to end up the way it is? The onside kick in the game before that. Freddie Mitchell shot. Thank you. Somebody had to have it. I knew somebody would bring it up. I could not think of the guy's name to save my life. For some reason, I kept thinking it was that basket dude that was on reality TV. You know what I'm talking about? That receiver for the Eagles that was with that one Playboy girl. He was on that team too. That's funny. That's all that's flying in my head on why I couldn't think of who this dude's name was. But yeah, I don't. So this is my other thing too. Is like, I've met LaFleur like 3 or 4 times, obviously throughout whenever I'm up there in Green Bay. If he's out around, they obviously do some stuff with like, you know, guys, and I have a ton of different cards and stuff. Sometimes I'll just go there, get signed or whatever, say what's up. Cause I mean, they're all like free at, you know, like car dealerships and shit like that. Good ass dude too. Like, he's a nice guy. Like, I like the rivalry part that's coming out of it. I do like that. I do like all that. But I think now he's starting to dive into it where it's like, okay, I should just say I fucking hate him and then go in and don't say anybody else said anything, because LaFleur never said anything. So, like, I don't know why you're saying it to LaFleur when LaFleur didn't say anything, and saying he said stuff, which I didn't get. I'm like, just say you fucking hate him. Like, that's it. Like, and now we finally did that today in their press conference. And I'm like, that's what you should have did from the beginning. You shouldn't have said that somebody said anything, because no one really said anything outside of what, a backup that doesn't play. So that was my only thing with it, was like, you're like bringing up stuff that didn't happen to make it sound like there's more stuff there with LaFleur. I'm like, all right, or just say you hate him, and then we don't have to lie about all this stuff, because he hasn't said anything, like, ever.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had a lot of people checking in on you in my Discord. You know, they're like, if you hit him up, is he doing okay? Is he all right? And
Guys,
I'm gonna let it marinate until, you know, it's like, I think he's okay, you know. But obviously, it is a brutal loss, and like, you know, if it were me, I mean, I'd probably be more mad than you were. Like, I would probably be screaming in my house. I was saying to people, I probably have a couple noise complaints from the neighbors, you know, because just. It felt like, I agree, kind of like not just LaFleur, just the whole team was just kind of not there in the second half, which at the end of the day, you got to blame, I guess, the coach. And LaFleur is going to take this loss, I'm sure, in the media and all that, and he's going to blame himself. But like you said, it's like, who's better out there? Who are you upgrading from Matt LaFleur? At the end of the day, he's one of the best play designers in football. I think the thing is, you need one of those, like a lot of teams have them, one of those like game management, like whatever you want to call it,
Oh,
coaches
person, like personnel or whatever.
Yeah, the guy with the headset near the offensive coordinator, like someone that to help him out with game management, because that obviously seems to be an issue.
Yeah, the timeout late was just a little like with 45 seconds, like now they're just going to guard the sideline, can't make a push down the field. I don't know. And guys, the Packers have won one Super Bowl in my lifetime. Like obviously very happy with that. They won one the year I was born. I'm very happy with that. But only one team wins, and when you, I don't know if like doing the gambling stuff as like long as we have and like being as in depth into all of this shit that we go into, like it makes it a little bit tougher, for me to be like, motherfucker, this is, and just look at it as like what had to happen for this to happen. Right? Like it's crazy all the things that had to happen in that game. Like I said, that 4th and 12 was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. But in my head, I'm like at the end of the game, I'm just like, this is why you paid Micah Parsons $140 million was for this moment, was for him to fucking chase down a guy that is a athletic quarterback. And you could just kind of tell that once that happened, and then my boy went out and they got fucked. Edgerrin Cooper went out with that bad knee injury. And once that happened, they scored all the points. He had 8 tackles. I had his tackles at 7.5. He cashed in the second quarter, got hurt in the second quarter, and then obviously at the end of the second quarter, and then all that things happened. So it's like on top of losing, Wyatt, on top of losing Mike Parsons, on top of all that, obviously shout out to the Bears. I'm gonna give it to them when they do. But like I said, I get the whole shit with trying to make it a rivalry and stuff, but like I don't know, it's tough to do that when the last 9 years have been one win, and now they win 2, and now it's just fuck everything. It's just like you don't say, Packers don't say anything the whole time, and now this just comes up, and I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm liking Dan Campbell a little bit more now as a coach. I'm liking Dan Campbell a little bit more, just because it's like he's just he goes with it. He talks his shit, but he probably talks his shit not when the entire camera is just right on you and doing it just for that. It kind of feels a little forced.
Yeah, no, I didn't really love the handshake thing at the end either. But at the end
of the day, in his face, like
it's part of I get he's trying to, at the end of the day, like you're trying to fire yourself up to the highest extent possible. So I get it. I'm not gonna say anything about that. The only thing is you better keep winning if you're gonna keep doing that type of shit, because then you're gonna look like Nick Sirianni in a year and a half.
I was literally about to bring that up as like the guy who does that, and then now they lose, and now everybody wants fucking Sirianni out. Like everybody hates him now.
So
but it works if you keep winning. It does it does work if you keep winning. I just think we saw it with the Lions this year, right? Just the crazy going for it on the 30. Like, what if the Packers would have just finished that game out? Are we talking about him on the chopping block because he went for the ball 3 times on his own side of the field? But obviously it didn't kill him. So.
Yeah, that was crazy. We also didn't really talk about that as well, which is it felt like he had a Dan Campbell chip on his shoulder where he's like, oh, you guys think Dan Campbell will go for stuff? Watch this. And he's just one-upping himself, which is I like going for a lot of stuff, but he was pushing them. And I mean, I will say on that look where they failed, they did get what they wanted. The D lineman just tipped it at the line. So it's I get why he has faith, because they're tending to get these looks that they want to, but man, I don't know if you can just that early in a game, I know you have confidence and it worked out. They won the game at the end, but yeah, that's going to be something to monitor going forward. Maybe kicker unders as well. I don't think they're kicking a field goal unless they have to, which, is solid strategy until it isn't, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And my last thing I'll say on this game, because obviously this has gone a lot longer than I really would have liked it to go, since we got 3 other games to talk about from yesterday. That were all good games besides the last one, right? I mean, there are a lot of good games. My God, dude, you know how many fucking bad losses the Wisconsin teams had in the last how many fucking years? You think this what hurts me? You think this hurts me? This doesn't cut that deep. With how bad I've been cut, like the NFC Championship game against the Niners, that one fucking hurt. That hurt. That's a go to the goddamn Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah,
once we lost Parsons and once Wyatt went out, I kind of had realistic expectations. We weren't beating the Rams. I don't think we were going to beat the Rams anyway. Because I had tempered expectations. Would I have liked Micah to be playing? Yes, I think I would have a lot more confidence in that defense. But you can kind of just tell that defense is kind of just on his heels in the second half. with how bad that offense was playing. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm expecting to get talked shit about, from all my buddies down here, but that's it happens. I mean, only one team wins it, and I'm gonna bring this up because every Bears fan that I have down here has used this the last 5 years. When they don't make the playoffs and the Packers make the playoffs, they're like, well, guess what? You guys didn't win the Super Bowl, so you're in the same spot as us. So if they don't win the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter if you make it even there. You're in the same spot as us. You didn't waste it. You didn't get to do it. So I'll be waiting, biding my time on that because I think they open at 4+4 in that one, I think. So that should be a fun game. I'm excited to watch Stafford go back into Chicago.
And the final thing I'll say is, even my sister lives in Chicago. Even she sent me a Caleb Williams gif. I was like, "You even watched the game? You know
who this is?"
Yeah, no, I guess she does. She's like, "I like Caleb." I was like, "Okay, there you go." So that was pretty funny, and happy for, obviously we got a lot of Bears guys in the chat as well. So happy for you guys for getting that win there. That was pretty awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah, Quay Walker played awesome, dude. Quay Walker pretty much was the only real guy trying on that team in the second half. That dude's a monster, especially when Cooper went out. We have not talked about Diggs yet, signed a Cowboy fan. I didn't really hear anything about him. So,
well, you guys picked him up.
No, I know, but I'm like, if I don't hear much about him, then obviously he couldn't have got cooked that bad. I think he had 2 or 3 where he got catches on him. But I was more, on the safeties there that were just getting fucking murdered back there.
Oh, and finally, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. You brought it up. You guys put in some guy who never had a coverage snap all year. I forget if it was on the goal line play. I think it was the 2-point conversion where they went out in a heavy set and then they spread everyone out wide and they hit Loveland on the corner against a linebacker that's literally never played, or maybe a safety, a snap all year. That was a fucking awesome play design right there. Going out heavy like that and splitting out, that was fucking awesome. A little compliment to Ben Johnson. I like that. But then once I heard that the guy never played a cover, I was like, how the fuck did this guy even get on the field for this play? What's going on?
Yeah, like I said, we had to move a bunch of shit around. McDuffie had to go take Cooper's spot, and then we had to throw. I don't even know who it was. To be honest, I couldn't even tell you who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's saying something because obviously I watch every game. So, but yeah, it's we'll move on from that one and go into another crazy game, which is Buffalo. Buffalo was the mini favorite. Ended up closing Jacksonville -1. Was the closing line. So a little bit of some flip there. But kind of, that second half kind of went the way we expected the first half to go, but defense is kind of locked up in the first half. And Josh Allen showed he's still probably the best player in football individually, so it's just crazy to me that team with the weapons that you're looking at on that team is winning games. Like Brandon Cooks was their second leading receiver. Keon Coleman, number 1 for a little while in that game. He had a 40-yard catch, and then I'm watching fucking Gabe Davis still get fucking targets. Are you kidding me? Shout out Josh Allen. I had no real dog in the race. Obviously, I had Jacksonville for a spread thing, for a playoff thing, but I didn't have any real bets on it. But man, shout out to Josh Allen, man. God, I still don't know if there is somebody more valuable to a team than Josh Allen to the Bills. I really don't. If you're actually taking the most valuable player, can you imagine what the fuck Josh Allen would do on that Rams offense? Probably throw for 5,000 and run for 1,000. God damn.
Yeah, they'd have to make up a new award to give him, honestly. But I think a lot of people in the chat have kind of already gotten to it with this game, which is they got away from what was working really well. Tuden came in, ripped off 3 explosives. Then Etienne hit that big, 40-yarder. And it's man, why are we not doing this more, guys? We know all year long that the Bills can't run. And the thing I was worried about is someone that I was going to bet Etienne rushing, and then I ended up not doing it. And the worry is that they ended the season super pass heavy and is not a very efficient running team, right? And so they didn't want to get away from their bread and butter. I figured they'd want to continue passing. That's what worked for them. And, it did at times, but once you then actually run and once you actually have success running, I feel like that would then give you enough confidence to maybe keep doing it against a team that's proven that they cannot stop the run. So that was a bit puzzling as well. Obviously, Jacoby Myers was erased from that game after having such a huge impact in the second half of the year. He saw a lot of Christian Benford, who's one of the best corners in football on the outside. Parker Washington's the slot guy. He got Teron Johnson, who's not a very good corner at this point in his career. And Parker Washington, despite being clearly concussed during the game, clearly concussed, still came out and dominated. So Parker Washington and like Michael Wilson need like a mini documentary. Like these guys came not out of nowhere, but third, fourth, fifth guys on the team to like stepping up and taking over in big moments. So shout out to Parker Washington. That guy, he's probably single-handedly forcing their freaking first round pick, Travis Hunter, to be a cornerback next year. I mean, with the way he's playing, I don't know how you take Parker out the slot. You're not moving on from Jacoby, who you extended, and you got Brian Thomas on the rookie deal. So where the fuck is Travis Hunter playing? Probably quarterback. So that's a little, angle that I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, just great game in general. Beyond that, that throw to Cooks was awesome. It looks, if you zoom it down, you really see how hard that is too. Cook's just like not open when he throws it. The only reason the safety starts to bite in is because it looks like Allen's starting to get sacked as he lets the ball go there. Just awesome play, awesome player. I had his rush attempts, sweaty as hell, but he got the job done. Even banged up, getting more banged up during the game. Just a fun one to watch. But like you said, it's like so puzzling, the lack of weapons that he has to deal with out there. I mean, his best guy, Kincaid, 5 for 28, you know what I mean? He couldn't even really get going too much. They're still kind of a part-time player, not playing on running down. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about the Bills, especially if Allen can't fully use his rushing tool. I think that's kind of a big thing. And yeah, just a little bit of a disappointing game for the Jags. The Jags played fine, but I feel like that's kind of the nicest you can say about it. Like, there wasn't anything overly impressive, and Trevor never fully looked comfortable in that game either. A lot of throws were wobbly. A lot of throws were tipped at the line of scrimmage, which doesn't make any sense. The dude's like 6'6". So, they got some more kinks to work out next year. But it was a good start for Jacksonville. Obviously, they're going in the right direction. Got some good coaches over there. They just need to not, I guess, let their DC get poached, which I think could happen at some point. And the only final thing I'll say about this game is a big story. That post-game thing, did you see it with the interviewer telling him to keep his head up? That pissed me off. I know a lot of people are defending it and saying like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But like, I would be so infuriated. Like, in general, I hate those corny kind of pep talks, no matter what the setting is. Like, especially after you've just failed in front of the universe. Like, do we really need to give this lady national TV time to pretend to be his like grandmother and be like, oh, you got this? Like, I mean, that was just, I don't know. I see a lot of people who I like are like, oh, it was wholesome or blah, blah, blah. It's like, get this lady the fuck out of there. Let her do that in the hallway afterwards or a week from now when they're the local blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's just, man, that would piss me off a little bit. I don't know why, but I figured I had to say it. I saw a lot of people talking about that.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I don't know why you would.
What's the fucking purpose of that?
I mean, you know how many fucking stupid questions get asked in that shit?
Yeah, but that's my argument. The only reason people are defending it is they're just going, all reporters suck, so it doesn't matter that this lady also kind of sucks. It's like, well, I don't know.
They're not. I mean, that take isn't wrong though. How many of these people be like, why didn't you like? Nobody asked, hey, why didn't we just keep running the ball more? No, they asked like stupid shit, like stuff for next year and all this stuff. So like. I don't know.
Somebody asked that. I didn't watch the little thing. But yeah,
nobody
I don't
asked like an actual real question. That's the thing. If somebody did, like if they would actually ask like,
yeah, okay.
Why did we not go after the run when you're averaging 5-something yards a carry? Why did we go away from that? Because you're play calling. But they don't. They fucking ask stupid shit that just try to get people to get pissed off. So it's just like, that's why I really didn't give a shit. I looked back. I didn't care that much that she did it. So
maybe if we kick some of these boomers out of the room like that lady, we could have some people in there asking some smart questions. But either way, I figured I'd get my 2 cents out there. I don't know. I don't know. That's just me. Anytime, yeah. Well, we can keep it moving.
Yeah, no, I mean I get it. It's just there's the amount of stupid shit I hear just to get clickbait stuff from people. It's like, well, would I rather hear that or would I rather hear this person say, "You suck. Why do you keep sucking?" Or something stupid like that.
And if I failed too, I'd rather someone go, hey, why did you do this wrong or why did you do that wrong than like a bullshit pep talk. I just think that bothers me in general. The little like, keep your head up, you guys got this. Like, I don't know, man. Leave that for like a fan forum. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm sure his kid can say something like that or his wife when you tell him. But like, this is a football game. It's a playoff game. Like, I don't know. But yeah, we can keep it moving.
All right. The next one, the big one, crazy one. San Francisco at Philly. Close 6 to 6.5 most places. Feel like I was, at least on the show, I feel like you and Ryan both were pretty heavy Eagles guys. Mm-hmm. But obviously you watch the Eagles more than I do, being over in that area and seeing it there. But I don't know, man. I said I just couldn't go against Shanahan when it's a coach against coach like that. And he just kind of feel like a lot of people were on the whole Vic Fangio, like that he's going to do everything and control everything. And just a lot of missed tackles. Demarcus Robinson, really? Damn, bro. God damn. Holy shit. God damn. I just couldn't believe it, dude. I couldn't believe that was the guy. That was the guy you needed. That was the winning guy in the Millie Maker, dude. Is you needed Demarcus Robinson. Like, what are the odds of that? Demarcus Robinson Purdy was your combo at the top. What a fucking show, dude. What a fucking showing. This guy just keeps winning, and his team's not that good. They're all hurt. Everybody's hurt. But fuck, man. Shout out to Shanahan. Obviously, I kind of gave him his flowers pretty much the whole week, and I as much as I thought it was gonna happen, as much as I wanted it to happen, I didn't know. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect him to go through into Philly and just put up a show like that. Shout out at CMC, another 110. 2 touchdowns. Like, dude's a fucking monster, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is funny because it's like I like the Eagles, obviously, like I said on the show, and I would have bet them, but luckily the line movement was so drastic where like I wanted 3, I would have hammered 3, and then even I probably could have talked myself into 3.5. But by the time I was there, it was already 4.5, and then after the show, got to 6. It was 6. I was like, oh my God. So it's like, luckily I really couldn't bet the Eagles. Like the price got so out of control that I thought it was fair at that point. And yeah, I mean, San Fran from that first drive, they came out, obviously Robinson, like you said, those huge plays. And then CMC sneakily too, going up and high pointing that ball over 2 defenders, like a fucking wide receiver. Every time I watch him catch the ball, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is so awesome to watch. And the running game still pretty ass. The only thing is I wish Philly won this game so I could hammer the Seahawks next week. Like, oh my God, I would have loved that matchup. I was aching for it. I wanted that one so bad because I felt so good about Seattle. And now it's like Seattle takes away the run. Well, San Fran doesn't have a running game to begin with. Everything's 1.5 yards anyway. So it's like almost more of a level playing field going forward. The biggest thing is just no Kittles, obviously.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're fucked. As much as I wanted to see this third matchup, like it's been great games and shit, dude, they are so fucked. Like, yeah, you just took away your literally to do everything. I just saw Seattle open -7, and I was like, I'm like trying to talk myself into the Niners like I did this week, and I'm just like, well, Shanahan, but then I'm like, well, you're taking the top 2 offensive mind against the probably top 2 defensive mind in Mike McDonald. I'm like, how do I do that? Like, your biggest thing is now gone. And honestly, they did a pretty good job on Kittle in those games anyway. So now it's like you're taking 2 steps down. Obviously, Tongus has done well in his spots, spot starts. I talked about that on the show. And he still had a couple nice catches this week. But, man, dude, this is a fucking brutal. That's a fucking brutal matchup, man, to go back up to Seattle. And I don't even know. Purdy's going to be throwing to what? Juwan Jennings, a fucking hurt Ricky Pearsall, and DeMarcus Robinson. Yeah. And you're pretty much just forcing CMC to do everything. But the thing is Seattle does have good, really fucking good front 7 and great linebackers. So it makes it very tough. And they can obviously, put somebody on him that'll match up very well. So excited for the game just because you get a divisional matchup this late in the season. But damn, dude.
Yeah,
I think it kind of comes to an end here.
Especially when we just saw Seattle like dog walk them too, like the way they beat him last game. It wasn't necessarily as much in the scoreboard. Just if you watch that game, it was just like an ass beating for the most part. But hey, football is always better when Philly loses. You know what I mean? That just I know that put a smile on my face. I know it put a smile on a lot of people's faces. The thing is, they're gonna scapegoat this Patullo offensive coordinator guy.
Yeah,
He
I
deserved
know.
it. He is awful. Orlovsky, the whole world's posting these videos breaking it down. You don't even need a high level breakdown. If you watch this team all year long, you've just gone, how are they doing so little with so much? Like, that's really the question. But man, Sirianni deserves to get just as much hate. He is the reason for this. That's his buddy that he internally promoted and refused to demote despite all the warning signs being here. There's no indication that they were going to improve in the playoffs. We've had all year long to remedy this issue, and there's been no accountability. So I don't know, man. I think it's pretty freaking funny that now everyone is not a fan of Sirianni anymore. And oh, we wanted him out before this. It's like, no, you guys have been riding 10 toes with this dude. And it's fun when he gets to be an asshole, and it's fun when he gets to yell at fans, and you're winning games. And Saquon's got 5 billion yards on the ground. But when you just get a little bit of adversity and you crumble, you don't get to have credit after that. Like, I don't get how you can be a player's coach and you can be a guy he doesn't call plays. He's not responsible for the defense. That's Vic Fangio. So what does he do? The one thing you'd expect would be managing the locker room. How's that gone this year? Your star player
shit to AJ Brown on the sideline, bro.
Reading books half the time. He doesn't want to fucking be here. He packed his bag as soon as the game ended. Like, I don't understand where the credit go. I don't understand what this guy's doing to keep his job here. And I get winning. He has won a Super Bowl, right? And so you have that. But we're past that now. And also, I think the whole world can acknowledge that the non-quarterback coach roster is one of the strongest we've seen in my whole lifetime. You know what I mean? So I guess you can, hold on to that credit, but where's that going to get you a couple years from now? How long is that leash? How long do you get to keep losing before, hey, maybe we should have another guy, maybe someone that calls plays, or maybe a young mind, or maybe a defensive, virtue. I'd rather a fucking Fangio be the coach going forward, honestly, and give somebody else a chance. At offensive coordinator, because Fangio's still going to run the defense, obviously, anyway. But yeah, just, I don't know. The whole Philly stuff is like, man, I feel like they're all trying to take the fucking high road now. You guys don't get to take the fucking high road. You guys are the lowest of low in terms of sports fans. No offense. I love a lot of you guys in here. But, I mean, Philly fandom is about being assholes. And now you don't get to just walk away like, oh, down year. We didn't have faith anyway. It's like, okay, see you guys next year. And if it's with Sirianni, the rest of the division is going to be pretty fucking happy, by the way, because, I'm saying they should fire Sirianni, but honestly, I'm a Commanders fan. So, if they want to keep him, that's good for me. I don't think he does much for the team at all. But yeah, I would have some more changes than I anticipate Philly is going to have.
Yeah, I mean, that last year roster was fucking loaded, bro. That was a loaded roster. And I think that's, you don't have to do too much as a head coach when you don't do, he really doesn't have like a role on the team, honestly, outside of just being the face and the guy who talks shit to fans.
The hype man.
Also
in the chat, he's saying like they wanted him gone after the Super Bowl. Maybe a couple people, but every single person I interacted with was really not on that wavelength whatsoever. Everyone was celebrating. And once again, I was sitting there saying they won the Super Bowl in spite of it. The constant comparison to me, because it's close to my life, is Davey Martinez for the Nationals. As soon as we won, that motherfucker went, fuck, we're stuck with Davey for 4 more years. And that's what happened. And I see a similar fate here. The only thing you guys have going for you is you have the best GM in football by like a decent chunk, honestly. So how we can keep bailing you out, but maybe a small vocal minority. But for the most part, I don't know. I think a lot of people got on the bandwagon of fun. And it's easy to be on the bandwagon when you're winning. But obviously, and they're still winning the regular season, talented team. Like that's gonna, although we'll see. Maybe AJ Brown leaves in the offseason. Maybe you don't sign Kobe Dean and Reed Blankenship. Maybe you're not as much of a talented team next year. Maybe we got a little bit more of an evil playing field. I don't know how good the Georgia college class is, but you're gonna have to strike a couple more of those guys if you wanna recharge. But it was good. All that to say, it was good to see the Eagles lose. It's good to see a little bit of humility pumped into that fan base. I hope we can bounce back next year. And yeah, if you keep Nick Sirianni, good luck, because I don't know what that's really going to get you.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I was kind of talking about here is like it's fine if it works. Second, it doesn't, then it's like the Step Brothers scene, right? When there's like now those suits kind of seem fucked up, right? Because because it's like oh shit, oh it's fine when it's working, but then the second something gets in the way, kind of just throws a wrench in it.
I think we should fire Big Dom as well.
Fuck
I
that
don't know
dude.
why.
Dude, I've
but
wanted
that
his
guy
ass for
annoys
fucking how
me.
long, dude? That dude's an idiot.
He's like pushing AJ Brown on the sideline when Sirianni and Brown are yelling. I'm like, why is this guy still here? Like, doesn't like a
And everybody in Philly likes him. I don't know why. Like he doesn't like I don't know why.
I think Gino's Cheesesteaks needs a new security guard. Maybe he can man that position. Like, I don't want to see this guy on TV ever again, honestly. Ever. He's got a headset on. I don't know if you saw. He had a headset. Why does he have a headset? What does he need to hear? Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I don't know. That guy just pisses me off.
Let's get to the last one. At least this one we have absolutely zero ties to this game, so we don't give a fuck. But Herbert takes another L in the playoffs. Yeah, the players love him. I don't. I mean, everybody said they like Sirianni too, and now it doesn't really seem like him. Like anybody likes him anymore. Real quick flip there. But Chargers at Patriots. Patriots get the job done. Shout out to Herbert for running. That's all I had last night was his rushing yards, and because it was so high, I'm like, it's got to be high for a reason. This dude ain't gonna have a second, and dude ended up getting there with flying colors. Man, he fucking flew over his rushing prop. I don't know, man. I'm still I talk me into liking the Patriots. I still don't think they're that good. Truly, I don't. Tell me if I'm wrong. Am I crazy for that? When I watched that game last night, because that Chargers offensive line was fucking shit.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. It's like in a way the Patriots passed the test, but like they didn't do it in impressive fashion, right? Like they didn't look like if they were against a more competent opponent, you wouldn't feel very good about them winning that game how they played. So it's hard to feel super good about it. I'm once again here to just do a little coverage for Justin Herbert. I don't know how everyone can be so negative to this guy.
No, dude, that was so hard, dude.
31 pressures, 31 individual pressures. What are you supposed to do with that? Like, what quarterback in football can do anything with that? And also, they don't have a running game because their only running back, Amarian Hampton, that at least that's a little bit scary, has the ankle brace that normally linemen wear and got one carry, and they're like, yeah, you definitely can't play. So now we got Vidal back there for all, like, there's no threat of the run. They're sending pressure every single play, and frankly, the weapons out there have not been playing well at all in the second half of the season. I'm not seeing nearly enough Lad McConkey slander. This guy has had a brutal second half. Even when they're playing prevent defense, they sending a guy down to press him and play man against Lad because they know he's not going to do shit against it. That should be like, this guy needs to be in the fucking gym every day this summer because, man, they don't have a singular threat that defenses are extremely worried about, and they're just sending the house. And I mean, yeah, it's just brutal. I mean, I said all year long, I can't bet on the Chargers in the postseason with that offensive line. I just can't. There's no way. It's literally like, what do you call it? Coop said in the chat, only one that's worse in football is the Raiders. So how am I supposed to bet on that team in the playoffs? I just can't. So, it was just kind of a boring game. I don't really have much beyond that. Besides, I would fire Greg Roman, obviously. Harbaugh had an awful game. Did you see that Spillane thing as well, talking about that Chargers players were coming up to him after the game and saying they didn't know how, like, what the defense was throwing at him all game. They were confused by it. It's like, when you have a player saying stuff like that after the game, that should be like a major red flag. So just a brutal showing from the Chargers. The one good thing is I'll probably buy next year. I don't know what their to win the Super Bowl price is. They got Joe Alt, they got Rashawn Slater coming back. Those are two elite tackles.
High end fucking tackles.
Yeah.
High end fucking tackles.
Next year, hopefully, it'll be better. But man, they tried to kill Herbert in the process. I was almost like, send Trey Lance out there. You know what I mean? Like, after those last couple hits, it looked like he broke a rib on one of them. I'm like, can we just put him out of his misery, please? Like, this is brutal to watch. So, yeah, rough game. And yeah, like you said, Patriots didn't really do much that impressed me either, although they did run the ball fairly well. And Ramondre Stevenson had a pretty good game there. But yeah, they took care of business, and I think made everyone want to go to sleep in the process.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I kind of want Houston to win this game, not only for, some bet purposes and stuff like that. What's the total of that Patriots fucking Houston game, bro?
Yeah, maybe 40.
I don't even know if it's that high, bro, after watching that shit.
Might not get that high.
I don't think I think it opens like 39.
Yeah, on what the Texans do. It depends on how good they look today. If they look good, it could be a little bit higher, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, and guess what, Cashville? We're going to start talking about it right now. We get to talk about the slate. But before we do, let's take our victory lap. We got 32 of you guys in here on YouTube getting to talk a quick little sweep.
Yep, Saquon over 79.5 rush yards. It wasn't really a sweat. He did keep pissing me off when he was at like 70 and was going -4 like 3 times. I was like, can we just cross the line, please? Like, I don't want to keep sweating this, But he got over. Great run to start. O-line obviously banged up with no Lane in there, which was kind of it looked like he was going to go. And then apparently Saturday he was having pain, so didn't end up happening. But yeah, still got the job done. Saquon did his part. You know what I mean? He showed up, had a pretty good game. So shout out to Saquon.
Yes, sir. And then Josh Jacobs, CMC. And good thing we bought Jacobs to where we did because he ended up with like 56 yards, I think. CMC ended up getting his catches down. Nice little cash there. And yeah, I did not think CMC was going to be ripping off like 15-yard catches. I thought they'd be a lot more underneath, but
yeah,
just shows how good this dude is, man. It's just like I said, that matchup against Seattle is just a tough one, man. Just a really tough one. But yeah, now we got a little breathing room, Stu. We got a little breathing room over that 20 unit mark, which we love to see. So yeah, we end up closing. Actually, I guess we can't say closing because we got a bet today, a couple bets today for you guys on the show, but 52 and 39. I mean, we're going to close in, getting close to that 100 bet mark for the show here. And hopefully we'll be, over that 20 unit mark because that's obviously where we've been kind of trying to get to this year. So a little breathing room. We've been kind of hanging around that 17 to 19 to touching a 20 and then right back under. So it's nice to get a little breathing room at this spot as we move forward. And hopefully you guys have been tailing us the whole year. We still got 32 of you guys in here. We got 9 likes. Let's get that up to like 15 because we got to get to talk some bets here. And yeah, it's time. So we got Houston, and they are, I believe, -3 right now on the road at the Steelers. 38.5 is what I'm seeing most books at. So we'll go with that. Obviously, we talked about this a little bit on Wednesday. Just your quick little overview before we talk some bets.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I kind of started out more on the Texans side, but I will say, like, every person I respect and like, I feel like is on the Steelers here, which is kind of interesting. And I see why. At the end of the day, if you've watched Houston at all, even if they come out to an early lead, like, they're the least comfortable team with the lead possible. They can't run the ball. So they've really struggled to hold on to leads all year long, and they get conservative. So not only do they get a lead and they stop throwing the ball, but they can't run the ball. So they, even when they're like ahead, they let teams back in, which makes it hard to trust a team to win by margin. Steelers obviously deserve some credit. I feel like Tomlin gets so much hate all the time, and I get why to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, when you look at how this defense was in mid-season form, early season form, they were injured, they were battered down. It was looking like they were done. You know what I mean? And he kind of shuffled some stuff around. We've seen Ramsey go from corner to safety, and they made it work. And they've been playing significantly better ball. They've been getting healthier. Obviously, Watt's back. They had Hardman back, who's been huge for their run defense. Like, the Steelers have been playing good ball as well. So I'm excited for this game. I think it should be exactly what the total indicates, a low-scoring, ugly fist fight between two teams that are kind of offensively challenged and stronger on defense. Texans do have the stronger defense, but also it's kind of scary how the Texans ended the year, right? I mean, Raiders had their best game of the year against them. I get you can kind of take some games off and stuff like that, but they didn't quite end on the same high note that they were at mid-season form. And Kamari Lassiter being banged up and not playing at 100% is a bit of an issue. The good news is that, I mean, that's going to be against Adam Thielen and Marquez Valdes-Scantling, so it's not necessarily like you got Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown, where when your cornerback 2 has Devonta Smith, it's going to be a longer day. So, I think the Texans should be able to win this game, but I don't know. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly, and it's probably going to come down to some field goals. And I will say, Chris Boswell, pretty good field goal kicker. So I'm very curious to see how this one plays out.
I mean, I can't give Boswell the kicking edge here, bro. I mean, Fairbairn has been a fucking menace, dude. That dude's fucking good. That dude literally beat me in 2 fantasy matchups by himself, scoring 25 plus points, bro. Yeah, he's had 3 games this year. I think with 4 plus field goals. Like, that's the crappy part is, Houston hasn't been great in the red zone, which is, been Achilles' heel. But I brought this up last week. I just don't know how Pittsburgh moves the ball down the field outside of pass interferences to DK to Metcalf. Truly. Because, I mean, really good corners on the outside for Houston. Obviously, fantastic pass rush, right? Two guys in the top 5, I think, right? Or top 6 now. In sacks, I mean, Hunter's been fucking awesome. Those linebackers are fucking crazy. Shazir's going to knock somebody out. He's going to fucking red light somebody. Freiermuth might be sleeping by the end of the first quarter, bro. You go across the middle. That dude fucking tries to take you out. And again, I know TJ Watt didn't play in the game, but I still can't get out that 2 weeks ago these fuckers lost to the Browns, bro. Like I get that out of my head, man. Like, I can't. Like, and that's all of them just focusing on Myles Garrett, right? Like, all of their stuff was like leaning over to Garrett so Garrett can't beat you. And they still couldn't do anything. Well, you can't do that today. You got 2 dudes on both sides that are fucking awesome. Anderson's been amazing since he's come into the league. I really just don't know how we get this job done. Aaron Rodgers is going to do those quick underneath ones all day. And it's like, I don't know, man. I think if I had to look at one, probably I might lean to take a defensive touchdown from Houston because one of those getting picked. I could see one of those quick ones getting pick 6.
Yeah.
Just because I think Rodgers knows, like, I can't get hit in this game because these dudes are going to fucking try and take me out. Like, then I got to watch Mason Rudolph, bro. Like,
yeah, they're going to have like 15 perks on hand just in case he goes down. You got to get
your antler spray from fucking Ray Lewis in the torn pack.
But yeah, I will say the one interesting thing, obviously, is the Texans are such a good pass rush. And I think, the Steelers get the ball out quicker than any team in football, so they're going to try to mitigate that pass rush. Just like you said, it's kind of like, can you jump one of those? Can you get downhill and tackle? And I think that's the interesting thing. Obviously, Houston, one of the best tackling teams in football. And really, if this was a worse defensive coordinator, that would be an issue. But Ryans really does tailor game plans to the team that they're playing. I would expect all man coverage all day long against everybody. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to make it tougher against Rodgers, who, historically crushes man coverage, but not this year. He's been very bad splits. Because how do they move the ball? Well, 7-yard checkdowns to Kenneth Gainwell, and then Pat Freiermuth finding a seam in the zone and taking it far. Like, that's how they move the ball. If you can't check down the ball, it's going to be a long fucking day. And I think that's what the Steelers are going to take away, which is hilarious that a team has DK Metcalf. And like, my main priority would be Kenneth Gainwell in this game, which is just kind of funny to think about. But at the end of the day, take away the check down, take away the yak, and you beat the Steelers. And I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt that you can just say, dude, I'm going to literally put Derek Stingley on Metcalf. And I don't have to think again. I don't have to think anymore. Stingley just literally is going to stay on you, follow you, and we ain't got to worry about you anymore. Like that's just a luxury that most teams don't have. And then on the other side, right, I don't like Houston's offensive line. We kind of talk about that. We don't like how they run the ball. But I will say I do like what I saw from those younger receivers in that last week. I know it was against the Colts. I know it wasn't great, but like that's got to give you some confidence as a young player, whether it be Noel or Hutchinson, that hey, I can beat these guys. I can beat NFL coverage one-on-one when I need to. And obviously they're not going to be the focal point of this offense. Nico Collins comes right back in, is the number 1 guy. We know that. And I think if you look at, peripheral guys, you say you take out Metcalf or Gainwell, whoever you want to say is their number 1, and you take out Collins, I still think I would lean a little bit more with the younger guys than the ghosts of Adam Thielen and fucking Marquez Valdez-Scantling going against those fucking defensive backs. Because, God, dude, they're old. They're so old. And Marquez still's got bricks, bro. They still got brick hands, dude. That dude is a walking drop.
He's the OG brick hands, but now he's getting screen passes last week. Which
I know, dude. I thought that was fucking gross. I couldn't believe that.
It's crazy. It's like, yeah, Calvin Austin. He's like 10 times faster. Why don't you give him the screen pass? I don't know. But, Arthur Smith, he's got to do whatever the weirdest thing possible, and that's what he wants to do. So it'll be interesting. I think Freiermuth is someone to watch. I think he needs to have a big game for him, obviously, over the middle there. But yeah, no, I agree. And I think Houston, just the scary part is, man, Houston can suck on offense just like anyone, And like I see people bend on Woody Marks, and I'm like, man, it'd have to be rush attempts only for me, because with Harmon in, that Steelers rush defense has been good, and Woody Marks has not been efficient this year at all. So I don't know. I just have some concerns on the Texans side of like how well do you score? How, like, you know what I mean? Because I think outside of a deep bomb or two, I don't know if they're going to consistently move it. I think they're going to get a couple explosives, but I don't know if they're going to be able to be consistent. So this could be, remember that Chargers game where you had the Dicker long shots? I think this could be that game for both teams.
The Eagles, like, that was the Eagles, right?
I don't remember. I just remember cashing all those field goal props. Shout out. But I would just bet both kickers, honestly. 3 field goals. I'm sure both of those would be plus like 200 or something good like that, because normally 3 field goals you get a good price, and I would just take both of them for that. I bet one of them hits it, because it feels like we're getting field goals today.
Yeah, Fairbairn is actual line is 3 field goals.
Dang, what is it
plus
then? Like
160?
Oh, 60. Okay. Yeah, that's not awful. I mean, it's not great, but it's clearly that number for a reason. But yeah, that's just more the way I'm thinking about this game, is more field goals than touchdowns.
Well, then I just look at like yardage for all these guys, right? I mean, Woody Marks is projected more than fucking Warren on the rushing lines. Then you go to passing lines, and CJ Stroud's 20 more passing yards. It's just like they kind of expect him to move the ball. I think it's going to be the red zone. And Houston, and this is my thing too, and I'm going to talk about it here right now. I'll take my bet right now, and I'm going to be rolling with the Steelers team total under. I kind of talked about this on Wednesday with Ryan here on the show a little bit. Didn't go super in depth, but I still like it, man. I still like it at minus 110. I thought this was one of the most wild stats I looked at was Houston in the first half of games, right, where it really comes down to how you were coached and schemed up, right? Because you see a lot of these teams that, have good defenses. They kind of let teams move the ball early on in games, and then they wake up a little bit. When I have a number this low, obviously I don't want that. I don't want anything. Houston this year on the road, first half points allowed 5.4 points per game allowed on the road in the first half. That is fucking insanity. That's the lowest number of any team at any spot, right? The other one was, I believe it was Pittsburgh was one of the other ones that's up there, but they're allowing 9 points per game overall. I think like 6.5 at home. So it's like, obviously they're really, really good at home. They're really, really good on the road. So I think this is going to be one of those ones where I might even take the first half under too, because obviously both these teams, I think, are going to struggle to get things going. The only thing is my God, those numbers are fucking low, dude. I don't know if I've ever bet one that low. The first half under is 18.5. Like, that's just kind of just sitting right on that number that I like. I wish I got to like 20, like I wish it was like there, but then you look at the total and obviously you don't expect that. But yeah, I'm going to put my faith into the high-end coordinators, right? And that's kind of what we did with Shanahan, putting your faith that he can, put something together. And my God, dude, I don't know if I could find outside of McDonald, dude. I don't know if I find a better defensive mind out there right now than D'Amico Ryans. He's got these dudes playing like fucking crazy. And I mean, dude, you get a matchup next week with the Patriots. I think they can win that one. If they can get through this one, I think they can. Because you saw how many sacks the Chargers had yesterday. I think these dudes are going to be playing with their heads cut off for the next couple games here. And just having both of those guys on the outside, and Anderson and Hunter, dude, it's just those are just X factors that you don't really get, right? You just don't – not that many teams can offer something like that, right? So I think this is a tough game for Rodgers. Obviously, he's going to get that ball out quicker than ever. I always usually love to take, like, Rodgers not to throw a pick because he never really does. But this kind of seems like a game where he's going to have to get that ball out really fast, and I think one of them might get him. This might be the lowest line or, like, the best line I've ever seen on Rodgers to actually throw a pick. It's like plus 100. You don't ever see that. It's usually really, really juiced to no, right? Because he just doesn't put the ball in harm's way. This is one where I think it's going to be tough. I think that Houston wins the turnover battle yet again, and hopefully they can, score like I think both teams can honestly stay under this, to be honest. I think it could be one of those types of games, but sign me up. I'm rolling with the Miko Ryans and these boys. And obviously for our best ball thing, I'm really hoping Houston moves along as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it. I like the spot. I agree. I think it's going to be an ugly, slower game. And yeah, I just don't see a ton of consistent score. I'm curious. I guess DK Metcalf is going to have to come up because I think the way we're both kind of thinking about this is like a lot of single high safety and even like sending the house and just truly letting your guy one-on-one, you know? So you got to be efficient on those deep shots. And you got one of the best corners in football out there, if not the best corner in football out there for him. So it's going to be tough for the Steelers, I think, to do much of anything. And yeah, I'm expecting another pretty ugly game especially with their offense.
Awesome. And it looks like, Stu, you got us taken care of with a long shot. I don't have another long shot here. I think the only person I do is Nico, just because he's been that good down the field. Thomas kind of brought that up as well. Plus 155 in a game like this, dude, I'd probably just take the no. To be honest, I wish they would just offer me a no for touchdown because I don't even know how many are going to get scored today. I think the line is like 3 touchdowns. I might almost take the under on that in this one. But yeah, if you can get the longest reception, I'm sure that's something that people will like as well. But let's kick this over to you, Stu. Got us a plus 500 spot.
Yeah, I shouldn't want to come empty-handed here today. Especially, we should have had a fucking Herbert touchdown, which I talked about on Friday. 3 straight carries to start the game at the red zone. I'm like, oh my god, so close yet so far. But yeah, I cashed Warren receptions in the last game of the year. And I thought the price would honestly be a little bit worse than this. So I figured this is worth a couple bucks for tonight. I don't think this is a long shot game. I think all your long shots need to be kind of ugly. And in my view, I think we're just going to see a lot of quick checkdowns. Gainwell dominates third downs. He dominates clear passing downs, right? In my opinion, if you're going to have success in this game, Warren needs to have a pretty good game on the ground because the Texans are good everywhere, including against the run. But like, the Steelers' offensive line sneaky solid too, and Warren's ended the year kind of pretty well. Like, Warren's getting those early down runs, and obviously you can't just run over and over and over again. So what we saw them do is they were just hitting the play action to Warren, and I don't know why that would change. And yeah, once again, like I said, you got DK Metcalf on the outside, and he's going to see Stingley, and then you got Kamari Lassiter. He's a little banged up. He's going to be way overqualified to be whoever is the wide receiver 2 at any given moment, whether it's Scotty Miller or it's Adam Thielen or MVS or whatever guy they rotate in the game. You know what I mean? I think he'll be okay out there. So yeah, I just think this is the guy that leads the league in running back targets. The reason we're doing catches is because the Texans are good against running back receiving. Like, they are good against it, but they're still targeted in the backfield at a top 10 rate. So even though they're good against it, they still force you to do it because you're not going to have a ton of good choices against the Texans. You're just picking the least bad choice. And a lot of the time, a check down is a fairly efficient way to get a couple yards. So I expect a lot of that. I think Gainwell will get his. Last game, if you're in my Discord, we were just going drive by drive. Catch for Warren, catch for Gainwell, catch for Warren. It was one of my best live games ever just doing that. So that's probably the game plan once again, unless the Texans show really early that they do a fantastic job of taking it away, which then I just think the Steelers are kind of screwed anyway. But and then you could get even more checkdowns if they're really trailing like that, you know? So I like Warren here. It's a little risky, obviously, at 4 catches because he doesn't get the 2-minute drill work and the third down work as much, which is scary, but he did it last game and he's going to be out there. And I don't see very many other options for him. So I like the price. I thought it was worth a couple bucks. But yeah, probably not going to have much for this game tonight, to be honest. I agree with you. I think the only other way I would possibly look would be Nico Collins, just because the heavy single high safety usage from, the Steelers, who just kind of allow some downfield shots, and Collins is obviously the guy. But yeah, I think a lot of Warren checkdowns is very live today. And honestly, Gainwell too, but Gainwell's at 5.5 minus 160. Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do with that? Like, I'm not betting that, you know, maybe someone out there is, but yeah, it's just kind of Gainwell's unbettable at this point. And I feel like they should have bumped Warren at least a little bit, but he didn't really get that. So I think it's a pretty solid look.
Yeah, I wish more books offered tackle assists alt lines up outside of DraftKings because their lines, you know, are kind of juiced already on those. I found an offshore I can get El Shair at like 8 tackles at -105. DK is -140. You know, like they can kind of get you on that because they're like the only, you know, legalized sportsbook that offers them anymore. FanDuel doesn't even offer them anymore. But, you know, a couple of those guys. And I really don't mind taking a Texans defensive score, bro. I really don't mind that. Like, I was looking around and playing around with some of those, and not the worst odds. I thought they would be a little worse than what they were, but even the Steelers being plus 500 is nuts, bro. They're plus 500, and then Texans are plus 475. That's telling you something. Those are both defenses. Those are better than like most of these big guys. There's only 2, 4, 6. There's only 8 players in this game higher odds than the defenses scoring. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's like, it's crazy, but is it wrong? I don't think so.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's wrong. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably your enemy to the under, honestly, is just some defensive touchdowns here, because I can see it from both sides, honestly.
Yeah, and that makes it a little bit tougher, you know, but hey, we'll roll with it. We got 35 of you guys still in here in the chat. Like I said, if you could hit that like button, we'd appreciate it. I think we're at like 12 likes. Try to get that at least up to 15 before the show closes out. Stu, anything else here from you as we move on?
Not much. I mean, I appreciate everyone joining us. It was a fantastic week of football. And I think we're going to have another good game today. It's not going to be the traditional barn burner, but it's going to be some old fashioned football, some good defensive football. So excited to watch it. And yeah, excited to keep talking about football with you guys. It's been a good start to the playoffs, and I have good vibes for these next couple rounds as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We should have some pretty good games coming up as well. Obviously, the college football playoff championship is next week in there too. So a lot of good games coming at us here shortly. So yeah, we will catch you guys on Wednesday. I don't know what we'll do for those, if all the props will be out or not, but we'll be here and we'll figure it out from there. So have a good one, guys. Best of luck, and we will catch you on Wednesday.